Hi, everyone. Welcome to our first town hall of 2023. Let me just make sure my mic is working. Franclanes, are we recording this?
Um, yes.
Okay, and I can start the Craig as well. Uh, so welcome to the first town hall of 2023. We are currently amid the first grants pause since our start of the grants program, as well as have a number of important issues under discussion and at various stages in the governance process. So we'll go through some of those today and talk about where we are in each of those issues and some next steps as a community. Get some quick updates from the core units in committee, which will sort of tackle, I think, the issues that we're going through, and then pass this on over to open forum discussion uh, to address any specific questions or topics of discussion for the community. Also, I just want to note that I think as we move forward with town halls this year, the DAO facilitators update will more and more start to hopefully focus on operational aspects of the DAO and try to turn that section into a more participatory focus so we can, really start to push forward each of the major stages of governance that we're going through with the proposals, especially over the next 2 months during the grants pause when we have less focus on grant making and slowing down our pace of governance there. Hopefully, we'll be able to collectively turn our focus inward to push forward some of the core proposals and specific topics we've been working on surrounding these committees, surrounding the accountability committee for grants, surrounding community moderation, and surrounding how we collectively make decisions, and ultimately deciding on if simply deciding if and how we want to align around a broader standard of ethics, values, and community, uh, you know, engagement rules and norms. So these are all the topics that are ongoing right now. To start, I'd like to pass it off to Yamel at the DAO committee to start with the update, and we'll move from there.
Awesome. Thank you, Matt. Hello, everyone. So this is Yemel from the DAO Committee. Our short update. Well, the grants have been paused. So we have been catching up with grants that we need to pay. We have been swapping mana to stable coins in order to fulfill those obligations. So we have 3 more grants to pay, and we have a few grants that have been previously paused, and now need to be reactivated. We have 3 cases for that. So we'll be tackling those in these weeks. In order to swap mana to stablecoin, we are using 2 alternative solutions. One is using an OTC desk. That's a company that trades on centralized exchanges. We use them in the past and in different situations, and I think that they are trustworthy. We don't like to use OTC that much because it requires some trust. And on the other side, we are using another solution that is called Mimic. They have a smart vault, which you send mana to that vault, and it swaps on decentralized exchanges based on certain criteria. So we can set the velocity or the max slippage in order for that to be more fair. The problem is the cost of doing in this trustless decentralized way. It's more expensive than going through the OTC, and we don't trust them that much yet. So we're starting with low volumes first and increasing the amount we swap. Yeah, but that's kind of the transparency disclosure we are doing about this. Other important things. Another important things regarding the DAO committee, we submit the proposals, the governance proposals to include a new member, and all of them fail. That's kind of disappointing. I received different feedback about what went wrong about this. Probably you saw the comments. One of the feedback is like having several proposals to vote was not very comfortable, and also open the possibility to vote several times. Like you vote yes to one candidate and voting no in others is like multiplying the vote. So that was one of the concerns from the community. Also, a request of having an open public debate. We are hoping like maybe the governance squad or the facilitation squad can help us solving this. Doing the election from in another way. There is also another proposal that is being voted, but at least it passed the draft stage. I think it's not yet published as a governance proposal. That is increasing the number of the DAO committee members from 3 to 5. That would be also interesting, and since we have a lot of candidates, maybe it's also an interesting thing that can resolve pretty much at the same time. Besides that, I think there is nothing else urgent. I don't know if there is any questions for the DAO committee.
Yeah, thank you, Yamel. Just to quickly add on the DAO committee election process, we've opened up a channel in the Discord for having our structured conversations or semi-structured conversations on the election process there. So that has a links to sort of all the relevant proposals, as well as the background of the issues and proposals that led to this point. So we'll be using that to organize conversations in there and to schedule a debate. But I think we've also tagged all the candidates in there. So if there are community members with specific questions about the process, about people's positions or backgrounds, or just to discuss DAO committee issues, that's the place to do that in the forum. In the Discord. And we can coordinate from there on the next steps. But I think the leading idea right now is, the idea right now for the next stage, based on feedback from the community, is support to do a single proposal with all of the candidates in it, to then have a draft proposal validating that decision or affirming that decision, and a finally binding governance proposal to formally validate it. That's all in there, Yamel and others, so you can jump into the conversation. Opening it up for questions to Yamel about this or other topics.
Thank you, Matt.
This is Chris. Yamel, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Chris.
Hi, this is Chris from MetaTrackers. I just got a question because some people were just contacting me now. And you submitted a proposal earlier this week where you were trying to solve the VP, I guess, disparity, where, there's a lot of people like the whales have a lot of VP, and then regular people, like the masses don't have as much. And so somebody just contacted me and they said that somebody voted 6 million no, and I think it's like 1.8 million yes. So which means it's not going to pass now. So probably it won't pass unless something major changes. So what happens if it doesn't pass? Will we propose something new, or this is just going to be it? Like it's still going to be the same situation. Like what's going to happen if this poll that you submitted does not pass?
Thank you, Chris, for the question. If the proposal don't pass, we can send another proposal. Basically trying to address most of the concerns. Probably like the proposal I sent was like maybe too big on scope. Maybe if we separate it in like smaller initiatives, we can have like a more, I think it's a more clear conversation about the pros and cons of each one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to suggest that because I see in the proposal a lot of people, like you said, if it's separated, maybe out of the three that you propose, maybe one of them might pass, and it can kind of mitigate the problems that people are complaining about.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe I try to be too wide in that. I try not to talk much about proposals that are being voted in like in this part of the town hall. I try most to focus on the things that the community already agrees on. Like also I feel more comfortable in sending things that may or not pass, but I think it's part of me as a contributor to the community to push my ideas, but also it's important the community like to engage and actually build consensus on this. So I think it's reflecting one of the issues that it's long-standing for the community, but there are many concerns that we need to agree before moving on something. The voting power is quite critical for the DAO, you know.
But thank you, Yamil. I think you touched a very sensitive topic in the DAO where a lot of people raise their concerns, and I think this is the right direction. So just want to thank, regardless if it passes or does not, just thank you for bringing the awareness up and allowing people to get more involved with this discussion. I think this is one of the main concerns. So just thank you for the proposal that you brought up.
Thank you, Chris. Looking forward to keep pushing in that direction. There is another question or comment from Sirek Champ about if we consider using 1 inch to trade mana to stablecoin. And the short answer is yes. However, like we are using a multi-signature wallet. So 2 or 3 DAO committee members, so it's HP and I, need to sign the trade in a very small window, which is like less than a minute. Maybe, I don't know, after 30 seconds, the order may expire. So it's a pain for us because we need to sync on doing that trade, like, and the two of us be at the same time with the computer and both click. And we know that that will be a problem if we scale the committee to more people. Like if we have 3 or 5, it's having a third one that needs to sign in a very short window. So we're trying to move away from that way. And that's why the smart vault using a smart contract that uses the DEXs sounds better. Yeah, but happy to chat about different alternatives as well. And if we don't have more questions, maybe we can move on with the town hall.
Yep. Thank you, Yamel. And we can come back to this with more questions about the voting on the whales voting and everything during the open forum, I think, if there's further discussions. I want to pass this off to Gino. Gino, do you have any specific updates you want to share from the DApps governance squad?
Hey everyone, Happy New Year. So 2 topics that we are currently working on. 80% of our time is being devoted to the grants restructuring program. We're taking advantage of the Pause and developing all the things needed in terms of new categories, budgeting system. The new smart contract structure is already being deployed. The way the contracts are going to be enacted with the new time schedules and so on and so forth. So that's a pretty big initiative that we're focusing on right now. And the second thing that we're working on at around 20% of our team capacity is improving the performance of the governance tab. That's something that we've been and probably been suffering a lot in the last couple of weeks, months, I don't know. So as we started to develop more and more features in the platform, the performance started to take a hit. So that's some of the things that we are currently working on regarding latest deploys. So I would say that last big
One of the
thing
cool
that we
things when
deployed
I
was
was reading.
Marvin, the governance notification bot, who already proven to be pretty useful, especially in the last couple of days and weeks. So that's live out there on the governance notifications channel on the DAO Discord server. What else? No, I think that's it from our side.
Okay, thank you, Gino. I'm just also maybe curious if it's possible to discuss briefly, the slowdown with Snapshot and what impact that has.
You mean the issues that Snapshot has been having?
Yeah, so for just briefly to touch upon, was there some votes that were difficult to vote on over the past couple of days because of Snapshot's backend?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what was going on?
Yeah, that was going on. We have a pretty fluid communication channel open with the Snapshot team. They are suffering from scaling issues, and it's been like that since a few months ago. They onboarded a pretty big DAO in the last couple of months, and all their systems basically collapsed. So we've been seeing even more performance issues that we saw in the past. As I was saying in the channel earlier today, in general, Snapshot is kind of the best option for this, right? I trust that the team is doing their best to provide a good experience. They usually respond the same day, same working day to any of the issues that we have. I think that we only had one issue that took more than, 4 or 5 hours to get fixed. But I also know that this is important and it's critical because time is fundamental for voting on proposals, right? Because the proposals have a fixed time, and we are not changing the length of proposals or anything regarding changing the time frame for casting a vote. So if anyone has suggestions, I've been looking at Tally, been talking with the teams in DAO Stack, and Snapshot has a prototype for on-chain votation called Snapshot X that has been around for the last year, I would say, and it's not released in production as a stable branch yet. So I would say Snapshot for now is our best and leanest option in terms of development. But of course, let's discuss it, and if anyone has an alternative, we can of course set up a meeting and see how that goes.
Thank you, Gino. Really helpful. Okay, so from the DAO facilitation side, we today just put out our December community pulse, which includes a community member spotlight of the work being done by a DAO grantee Meta Party, as well as a deep dive into the issue of community moderation, highlighting some perspectives from community members, some of the discussions that have been going on in the Discord, as well as some of the past proposals that have attempted to approach this issue, which mainly focused on questions of in-world. This is obviously a very important discussion to be having right now and over the long term. And, hopefully over the coming weeks during this pause period, we can really come to a, consensus framework for how we collectively moderate our community governance forums, from Discord to the forums to, potentially even scaling this to in-world. Obviously, this is a difficult question to approach in a decentralized context. And one that, we are actually really looking forward to scaling and passing off moderation responsibilities to whatever new framework we determine as a community is the best. I think that the conversation specifically on this issue shouldn't necessarily happen in this forum at this stage, as we want to make sure that all parties are able to participate and that we give people proper warning so they can attend. But this is a major issue that we're going to be helping work through and come to a solution on. And as part of this process, one of the primary focuses that we are doing right now is we'll be putting out our draft proposal for the working group process at the beginning of next week. And in this proposal, we'll be asking the community if they, or maybe, either including it or in a separate proposal, but I think leaning towards including it in this proposal, proposing a pilot of the working group process that is being proposed with the specific issue of community moderation. And this working group process draws on different decision-making modalities, including one called the Delphi method, which is a way to capture information from stakeholders and experts in a distributed way, as well as get feedback from the community members and other engaged stakeholders, leading to a series of potential decisions to choose from. So please check out the community pulse report. Send us any feedback you have, and also we have links to all of the DAO's social media channels, as well as the our weekly brief that we put out. So this is sort of the regular cadence of information that the facilitation squad is releasing about operations. We are releasing the weekly reports overviewing all governance proposals, grants that are happening in the DAO, and then more in-depth reports in the monthlies. And once those working group processes are moving forward, I think that will be a really good forum for us to help with the decision-making process in general. Also, as mentioned earlier, there's now a new channel in the Discord for discussing the committee elections, and yeah, I want to open it up quickly to Fractilians and Fede, if you want to add anything to this update.
Yeah, sure. This is Fractilians, and I have a couple updates for you guys. Some of you grantees and Peanut Butter may have noticed with this great commemorative meme he did the other day, I did a little copy and paste rampage in the grantee channels. I just wanted to make sure all the grantees had received the new promo form we had created for them, so in order for them to better share their events and updates with us. And our hope is to make it easier for any grantee to keep us informed so we can share their updates and events with the larger community. And also, as Matemio said, we just launched that monthly pulse, and I got a chance to interview Resonator, T3, and Frisky Bumblebee from the Beta Party, and we talked about their current progress on their grant, team dynamics, DAO repayment, rabbit hole, lots of cool stuff. So I recommend you guys checking it out, and I pasted that in the chat in our discussion here. And also, please stay tuned. Afterwards, our in-world meetup today, we have AwedJob, where he will be taking us on a tour of his world. So I'm stoked for that. So stay tuned. Pass it on to Fede.
I think there's nothing else to add to what Matimio just said. Just want to say that this working groups process is focused on being something that will bring that tend to decentralize and will bring a bottom-up policy building approach, right? So the main thing with this is that us as facilitators won't have a central role here. What we want to do with this new process is to engage different community members and stakeholders to lead the process within that working groups for different issues, right? So yeah, we are aiming to submit that proposal next week, and we hope that you liked the way it's going to be presented. So nothing else on my end.
Thank you, Fede. And as Gino aptly mentions, welcome to the team and to the Town Hall Forum. And thank you for joining us. We're already appreciating your insights and inputs as a member of the squad. So I hope all of you can already start to feel it. We're lucky to have you aboard, and look forward to your involvement in helping us through this process, and excited to continue working with you.
Thanks, Matt.
Ditto that. It's been great working with you.
So that the last issue which was going to sort of be a bridge and going to pass it off to the grant support squad here is we also have a simultaneous accountability committee proposal underway, and so I'm going to use that as a bridge and for them to talk about it and pass it off to the grant support squad.
Awesome, Matt. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Gia here from the Grant Support Squad. Happy New Year and welcome, Fest. Well, on our side, yes, we are working with this new committee. As the name was a bit controversial, we opened a question in the forum to hear proposals for names for this new committee. Until tomorrow, we were thinking about revocations committee, accountability committee, but it would be good to hear if you have any other thoughts. And then we are opening a poll on Friday for defining then the final name for it. And then also regarding this new committee, on Friday, we are publishing the open call for members for this new committee. So please, if you're interested, apply. The call will be open from Friday the 13th of January until Friday the 26th. And that's it on the new committee side. Then we also are focusing on the grants restructuring program. So as Gino briefly mentioned, we are working on with them in the governance DAO team to apply changes on the grants request form, including details about budgets, milestones for projects, and expected impacts, so we can finally start measuring how the grants program is nurturing Decentraland and also giving more transparency to make more informed voting. And then we are also revising requirements based on these new categories, and also are requesting changes on the transparency dashboard so we can provide the community a little bit more clarity on for revoked and paused grants, and also which of them has been resumed and so on. Then also for grants restructuring program, we are designing new onboardings for grantees, and this will now be based on categories. So each category will now have different requirements, and we are planning frameworks for meetings and making sure that we can communicate clearly the expectations of the DAO and giving the grantees information so they can be as mindful with their updates as possible. And then we're also going to write frequently asked questions for these changes of the program. So when it is back in track, our prospect grantees can have clarity on how to do what. And then we are also working on our ongoing task with grantees. Ask Me Anything sessions are back. We had our first catalyst yesterday. And then next week, we are working with SDK. And these sessions are now being hosted by the facilitation squad. They did great yesterday. And we are also writing a DAO year review with our copywriter, Luis, where the squads are going to tell a little bit briefly what happened in 2022 and the milestones that we had. And then we are also reviewing the journey of grantees, now taking advantage of this grant restructuring program to see how we can include advisorships and testing stages with these advisors, and also revising grantees' exits with the objective of finding ways that the grantees can nurture Decentraland after the grants are completed. And I think that's it on our end. I don't know if Zino or Pablo wants to add something. And if not, that was it.
I think that you have said enough. Nothing from my side.
Yeah, same for me, the same. So go on. I'm writing the Slido link here for the Ask Me Anything session. It's important, the participation of the community, because there's a lot of effort putting in this initiative, and we need your participation, and maybe you can spread the word and come all together and give this energy to the foundation, which is doing a lot of effort to make it. So I hope to see all of you there next Wednesday. Thank you.
Thank you all for that update. Are we going to still be doing grantee updates during these town halls during the pause period, or are we going to focus on other items?
Well, we wanted to focus today on what we were thinking for this grant restructuring program, but it would be interesting to keep on showcasing grantees' work also for the next ones.
Exactly. We will. Next town hall we will have.
Perfect. And just clarification in general for where we are in the grants restructuring process. This is not necessarily just for you on the support squad, but also I think to others involved in the proposal. So Yamel, right now, are we mostly in the stage of implementing the past proposals, and is there specific items regarding the grants process that are still under discussion that need specific approaching besides the accountability committee or whatever we're going to call it?
Yeah, we are focusing on three specific things. Like one is everything related with the work with the governance, Decentraland DAO team, and Gino's team. Then the other one is, the new committee. And then the third one is like keep on working on like with the support with the grantees. And if inside that support, is there something that comes up, then yes, we are going to address that. But if not, as we did this end of year kind of review with the grantees that were already like that they came from to the program, we do have a few comments from them of how to make the grants program better. So, for example, these new additions like advisorships or testing stages is something that we are implementing or we are going to provide and implementing now with this restructuring. I don't know if that answers your question, Matt.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Thank you. Okay, so just also following up on the foundation AMAs we're talking about, we are also going to be working to bring a slot into the town halls as well for the foundation once monthly. And we'll likely rotate every other month between our two time zone oriented town halls. So 1 month we'll have them in this time zone based town hall, which is geared towards our, friends in the Americas, North, South, and otherwise. And the other one geared towards our friends in EU and Asian time zones. No, Shawnee, we're not having a debate in this current town hall. We're going to separate that into a separate event and discuss that in the DAO Discord channel to make that happen. But, I do want to start to open this up now to an open forum. Please note for each town hall, we will have a form to request conversations on topics or questions, so we can submit them in advance. That was included in the most recent announcement. I would try to make that so the form is persistent, so we can pin that in the town hall channel if you ever want to look for it. So you can fill it out as something comes up for you, and also include it in each town hall announcement. So we got one question from the open forum form for this week from about difficulty finding events. However, this is more of an issue for the foundation. So that came from One Existence. So unfortunately, I can't really approach that one since it's outside of my purview. But I want to open this up now for questions, comments, topics for discussion amongst each other, and then we'll go from there.
Hi, this is Sinful. Can I make a comment about the event thing that Existential asked?
Yeah, please.
When I was in Miami and, had the pleasure to meet with some of the foundation members, this actually was kind of one of the things that I mentioned that needed improvement for the platform. So, Maria knows and the team is working on it.
Thank you. In One Existence, I see you're here. So do you want to add anything? Perfect. Thank you, Sinful. That's helpful. Great. Well, I'm happy this forum has already been a success. Now, I know we're all very text-based people and can type a mile a minute in the Discord, but do please, open this time up. This is the one time every 2 weeks we have each other on voice chat, and so if anyone has anything they want to bring up, please do.
I got something, Madamo. It's not something I want to bring up. I just, from time to time in life, we have to sometimes give people their flowers. So I just want to just let you know you're doing an amazing job. Thank you for everything you're doing. You voted no on my proposal, so disclaimer, he voted no on my proposal, but just thank you for everything that you're doing, man. I really appreciate it. I think the DAO, the DCL, and what everybody's doing, but just you in particular, man. You have a tough job. You got to balance, multiple rules and multiple plates, but you're balancing it and you're doing a good job, man. And I think we're all thankful for it to be a part of this road with you and everybody else. So thank you so much. That's all I want to say.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate hearing that. Also, I know I'm not infallible, and we all make mistakes, and always want to improve and better serve the community. So I hope we can move from the situation we're in to a more robust and cohesive community structure, and really grow from our current situation. And I think that we are well positioned to do so during this pause. And I hope that all of from everywhere we are, we can come together and push forward, and I'm confident we can do so. So thank you, Chris. I do appreciate that. And, also here and am, responsive to feedback. And yeah. Shawnee, do you want to bring this conversation into the voice chat, potentially?
I think there's too much background noise around. Like, okay. I doubt you all can hear me. Can you hear me? Is my voice clear?
I got you. You're pretty clear.
So basically, I was just thinking about. I was wondering how the people that are currently from the board and not allowed to participate in the town hall would snap up an opportunity to have an open discussion. That's all that I was saying in that remark. And I think moving forward, we really need to think about town hall, how it works, what why it's there, and in truth, how we're dealing with access to town hall as well. Just a conversation in that regard, a bit of thinking, just so we know what we're doing when we're either removing people from the community or even just organizing these town halls under what scope, if that makes sense. So it's just an open comment, more me rambling with myself in an attempt to find out what it means.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, and I hear that, and I don't think Discord is necessarily always the best forum for town halls. I think it's limiting. So I think that's an important part of the conversation to have. Ideally, we should have I would love to have town halls in world, and I think that is the ultimate objective. Even then, we can only have so many participants at one time in a server, but I'm sure we can accommodate that. But for me, that's the ultimate goal. But I think that's a conversation. I would love for you to drop that into the, I'm not sure if that goes into the Discord moderation place, but just drop that somewhere so we can come back to it, because I think it is important.
I have a comment regarding. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry.
I just wanted to mention, what about doing town halls in world? I believe like everyone wants to have town halls in world, and we try them many times. Last time we had the support of Seraform, which is a grantee, to do the streaming, but we didn't repeat it. Not sure why, or maybe it's because we need them every time to support us.
Jimmy, the reason why that didn't happen is, number one, it was on Metaverse Architect land. So we deployed that to our land just to get...
Thank you, Shani, for that.
No, then it's fine. It's fine. It's the least we can do. But so first off, there's no stable property for the town hall to be organized on. It came there from our end. Secondly, there's nothing really plugged in on the permanent location for that to actually be organized on that front. So I think we would first need to outline a location that is publicly owned, ideally, because even on my end, I try to just put it somewhere in the corner of the map so no one can come and say like I'm trying to drive traffic to anything or something of the sort. I highly recommend we start thinking about this. So we want in-world town halls. We need to find a property that is neutral ground, ideally publicly owned, something like a plaza in that case, and organize it there basically. And then it's just about having up the system, deploying it, and just ensuring that we're always streaming to the same website, I guess.
Hello? Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that. I can find the location and put a server for this town hall. Then if you want, I send you a DM and we set it up.
Wait, no, Tobik. My problem isn't land. Trust me. Like, it's not a problem of not having land. In my opinion, the issue is it should be on public land. Like, I don't want anyone benefiting from the fact that they're organizing the town halls on their property.
Okay, but I can if you want, I can act as a reach from the foundation and the DAO committee or whoever. I don't think it's a big deal, this thing. I understand like the philosophical thing, but I think it's just better to set it up and be running, because if for each thing you're going to to do a big deep analysis, we are just going to get stuck. I don't know.
Peanut butter suggestion.
No, because I really disagree, because last town hall was organized on my property and I got 80 people on my land. Simply put, if I start organizing that myself, I'm benefiting from every town hall because I'm driving traffic to my property.
Why can't we just use Genesis Plaza?
That's it. That's my point. Like, it just solves it immediately. It's on neutral ground and we can stay dealing with that scene over time, which means if every single person in this hall goes missing tomorrow, at least that repository is there, it's open source, it's publicly owned, and can still keep on being organized. We'll deploy it to public land. It just makes more sense, I guess.
Yeah, so peanut butter is... Yeah, go ahead, Gino.
No, the problem of using Genesis Plaza would be if we start using spatial voice chat, it's going to be noisy for people entering Decentraland for the first time. It's going to be a weird experience. People probably will start to talk. I think we need to find another place. I understand Shawnee's point, and I think it's important. Maybe we can find, I don't know, we can get a land from Foundation. We can see if we can, I don't know, wherever, use a road that the DAO owns. But we need to find a more, I don't know, peaceful place to discuss. Genesis Plaza I don't think it's okay.
Hi, it's Sinful. Gino, are you referring to the proximity chat? Because if Genesis Plaza is a big place and there's a lot of corners to it, the proximity, if you're referring to the proximity chat, not all the chat is going to reach that location. Let's say if we split it from spawn point all the way to a corner of Genesis Plaza. And I think it would be a good idea to use Gen.
Well, okay. I think that
we can try, but I don't know. I feel that might be a lot of people around. So, but yeah, we can try that.
Yeah, I think it's a good opportunity to try different things over these next town halls and see what we can find to work. Ultimately, maybe we can get a plaza dedicated to governance, and we have governance plaza where we end up building up our governance infrastructure and ultimately have an in-world governing experience, which I think is something to shoot for, especially since a lot of our activities surround governance. I think it's a really good way to drive traffic and engagement, and a really good use case for what we're doing here. So I think that this is a great start. And peanut butter, maybe if we can coordinate on using that auditorium, or for one of these, we can figure that out. And also, I would be really curious about how we could kind of if there's ways to make it so people can participate from in-world back out.
So something I wonder is how would you like moderate those type of conversations? Because as far as I know, you cannot moderate like in-world conversations.
Yeah, that's a big question, and I think
there is one implementation for Minecraft that I've seen is that people can map coordinates, and they use like a separate voice chat system, and they were able to mute people and something like that. I can then send the link so people can see how it works, but that would require to develop a second software for that. And I think if I would need to suggest something is that to make sure the actual voice system chat improves, or maybe now that we have like different groups that the Decentraland Foundation added, maybe they can add something similar so people, can moderate that. So if someone joins and starts saying awful stuff, some moderator of that group can just mute them. Because right now, I think it would be a bit of a mess if we let anyone join and start shouting and no one can mute them. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know.
I think we'll figure. I think there'll be iterations and we'll figure it out. But I think that's obviously a big good point. And
there are plans to add tools to be able to moderate like the group talks, like the group chats and stuff like that. Within Q1, hopefully. I know they're shooting for, but yeah, like voice chat would be a little bit more. But with the voice chat, it's a bit easier for users to kind of moderate their own experience because it's easier to just like mute a specific user. So yeah, that's available.
And is that voice chat is there gonna be? I mean, this is just now that Peanut Butter here. Like, is there moves towards sort of like scene-based moderation? I know there was a proposal a long time ago about that, but is that something that's being discussed?
You said scene-based moderation?
Yeah.
I know there are, a few tools where like if somebody's like the developer, like the owner of a scene, where they could do things to, mute people or remove people or, a couple different things like that. That might be a little bit trickier if it's in like a plaza, unless like, they kind of redid the build and then like whitelisted certain addresses to kind of have those, moderation abilities during the time of the town hall. But that might be a bit tricky.
Isn't there a meeting or conference building outside the bar? How would, if I swear there is, and if there is, how would they have dealt with something like this with the coffee?
Yeah, there's a big auditorium building. Like whenever you go out of the main like spawn building, like if you're in the top of Genesis Plaza, like where you spawn up top and you jump down, and then you run out. Like there's like an auditorium. It's like a 30-second like run from the Genesis Plaza building, which is what we're referring to.
Well, maybe for our next in-world meetup, we should go scope potential governance locations for an in-world town hall and run around Genesis Plaza. But I also think it's really interesting to consider the DCL.DAO worlds idea for some sort of persistent governance experience. That's just personal opinion, but I think this is all great conversation, and would really love to continue finding this. And Peanut Butter, maybe we can coordinate between now and the next town hall and see if we can give a test case to try.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that would be super cool.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, really.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I would love that.
All right. Any other questions, comments, issues, topics?
Comment. Really happy about the JTV proposal passing. Well, the team deserves it, and I can't wait to see what they, how much more they will provide for the community. Thank you, everyone, and thank you, DAO team, for facilitating these town halls for us every 2 weeks.
Thank you, Sinful. I appreciate that. And, that was a highly participating proposal. So I always love to see things like that.
I don't know if it was mentioned, but I just saw the tweet from Decentraland that there's new profile capabilities as well that came out today.
I'm obsessed with the new updates.
Yeah, so am I.
It makes us look so much cooler. Just gonna throw that out there.
Gonna have to check it out today. What's the best part of it?
Well, I mean, like, okay, so before, let's say you were to right click and like, have like a free view to look around, and like there wasn't much that you could interact with in like within world. Like it was just like you had to like click back in order to be able to click again onto like a user. Now when you go into like that free look mode, you can actually hover over a user and it will highlight like blue around them, and you can click on them and pull up their profile. And also
cool.
like the passport UI, when it pops up, it's so responsive, like that, like it's really clean. I think we're moving in the right step here.
Instantaneous.
Yes.
Cool. Well, I really love ending this town hall on some really positive in-world developments that we're excited about, and I think that's a really great transition point to move into the in-world meetup phase. If there's no objections to that. So I will pass it off to Fractillion, and for those of you that want to stick around, please do stick around and jump in world with the crew. Otherwise, that will conclude the talk story part of our town hall for this week, or this 2 weeks. And we'll be back here again at a different time at the last Thursday of the month. So see you all in the Discord, in World, forums, and look forward to our discussions, debates, and hopefully constructive governance developments together. Thank you.
Madam, I have one question.
Okay.
I was wondering when you were going to play the ukulele for us.
Oh, man. What's funny is I'm not very good, so you would be.
I'll play it.
There, yeah. I'll be in the
Hawaii.
picture and you can play. Yeah.
I'll play it badly, but I'll play it. I have my ukulele, so long time. Also lived in Hawaii a long time, so.
Oh, nice. Love it.
Cool. Okay. On that note, thank you, everyone.